Alright, I'm back here. We are putting the exhaust on the 55 today. I got the head pipe started and set. I'm about ready to put the muffler on and a hanger. Hanger. Yeah, I'm hangry. Okay, so we got a new muffler here. Yes, it's the quiet type, as you can tell. Actually, these mufflers are nice if you like quiet. Trying to talk them into a glass pack, but I don't think you wanted loud. That's not bad. These aren't too bad, actually. These little 6-cylinders are kind of mellow. They got a nice tone. Don't want a glass pack or purple hornies or whatever. If you got a tailpipe on it to dump it out the back, you're good. So I do have a tailpipe. It was actually off my 56 Bel Air when it was a 6-cylinder car. I just have it hanging here now, but it was from East Coast Chevy way back in the day when I ran 6-cylinder in it. So let me get this thing together. Alright, we're going to fit this thing in. One side's in. One side should be inlet. One side should be exhaust. Inlet. Alright, hopefully the ends ain't all beat up. This is called, I don't know what it's called. Quiet Flow SS. Okay. Alright, so I like that. It fits over that nicely, nothing's dinged. I'm going to get my other pull jack, wherever that went. Oh, there it is. All right. Get this thing set up and level and where it needs to be. Before you tighten anything, all your pipes up, your hangers up, leave everything loose, and square it up, and then send it. All right, we're close to that bracket. Pretty much centered itself. Let's see here. All right, let's bring you guys in. All right, so that's in. Get this a little more closer to the top. Hopefully this isn't too bent up. I'm hoping this fits, this tailpipe. Now, it was from a 2-door. I think it's a 4-door because everything from there back, who knows? We can shorten it up. Not a problem. I do have to undo the back hanger. I only did it to keep it from dragging on the ground, so. Up there. And this might be a little fun because it's going to be all jacked up. Excuse me there, supervisor. I don't want to step on your leg there. Yep, this should fit over it, but it's not cooperating. Nope, not cooperating. I think we have a dinged up end, so let me see what I can do. All right, exhaust is installed. That was kind of a trick. It took a little while to do, but the tailpipe's in. We got our clearances. We got no rattles. We got our hanger. Got our clamps up. We got our new head pipe. Just gotta get this off. If not, it'll burn off. I'll cut this. It's the packing tape. There we go. We got our new head pipe and O-ring and our clamps. I usually tack them too so they don't rotate because sometimes they have a tendency to move. But I haven't heard it yet, so let's put this thing up in the air. Or yeah, let's put it up in the air. It's already up in the air. Let's put it down. Yeah, and see what it does. Okay. Too bad, actually. I may have to shorten that tip up a little bit. Kind of what they used in, kind of like the power pack. Jeez. Oh yeah, she's only running on what's in the carburetor. I forgot I had to use my squirt bottle. The tank, that's our next problem. the tank needs a sending unit. So yeah, I just filled the bowl up. So there's our new head pipe, and I think it sounds pretty throaty. It sounds good for a little muffler. So my next project here on this today is I guess drop that tank down and do the sending unit. What did I do with that? Here it is. We got a sending unit from Schaefer's Classic through Old 55. We also have fuel filter to do, the O-ring for the filler neck, and also have a light switch and wiper blades. There's something else here too. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it's in the car. All right, let me drop this tank down. So we're going to take this old sending unit out. It's not really old, it just in-op. There's something wrong on the inside. Something wrong. Take all these screws, get them loose. I already had this apart once, so I guess I'll have to forcefully make them come off. Yep. We thought this was bad. Well, we thought that was bad, which it was, but it seemed the sending unit said no bueno. So we'll just clean that away from there. We'll go grab our new unit. Okay, it gives you a new gasket. Hopefully it gives you new screws. No? It does not give you new screws. Well, that kind of sucks. Alright. Good company would give you new screws. Instead, I got the screw. Alright. And then you got this plastic anymore, because I don't keep nails anymore. Alright, so these only go on one way. They're clocked. The bolts are in a particular pattern. So it's kind of like a... should make this a boardwalk game where it comes down to lining up the holes. And I think I got it first time. Do I win something for that? Here comes the fun part. Now, it's a little hairy getting this in there, but it's not bad. And from what I remember, that goes up. It should be lined up like that. So let me get a couple of screws started here. Hook that up, and put it back in. We're good. I have to find a socket for that. It's got a different size nut for the sending unit. See if it's 5/16, not 3/8. I missed my headlight. I can't find it. I've misplaced it somewhere. Anyway. Alright, so we'll hook up our sending unit wire. It's going to be a dirty one tonight. What do the doggies think, huh? Not our doggies, too hot out there. Laying in front of the fan, not laying here. You're laying in my hammock in front of the fan. Okay, one sending unit hooked up. Need to go up with this sending unit so I can make the 5/16 line hook up. Thank you for the person who never sees. Rather have it all on myself than broken studs. What are you doing down there, freight train? What did I do with the other one? Don't you just love it when you put things down or drop things and you can't find it? Oh, I think I know what that is. There we go. One installed tank. Now we got to do is put the O-ring on the filler neck, and mount the filler neck, and put the fuel back in. There's a jam that it goes up against. There we go. All right, done with that. Alright, there's this O-ring on the outside of this. We got a new one. I'm going to go wire wheel this real quick and get this cleaned. And we're going to put this new O-ring on and put a little grease on it so it slides in nice and it doesn't tear it. Okay, one installed seal, wheel of death, wire wheel of death on it, and the new seal. And this is going to go up there. Let's see if I can get you in here. Now you're gonna be able to see anything, but you have an idea. So this goes up through here. This goes over the frame and into that hole. I haven't done an easier one in my life. And you just got to twist and push it in, so they say. I don't know. It's supposed to. Yeah. I knew this was gonna be fun. I need some heavy, slick grease too. It's gotta go. Well, it did go in. That was way too easy. Yeah, that was way too easy. Couldn't be. Alright, and then there's a screw up there. Now this thing didn't go in because the screw hole don't line up. So I'm gonna get a rubber mallet, tap that in because it's not all the way in. Alright. So there is our tube. There is the nut and mount that it goes to. It's a sheet metal screw, and this goes into there with an O-ring. Cross your fingers it don't leak, because you know how materials are today. And it's pushed all the way in up against the shoulder, so find out. Here we go. Hopefully this is, well, it's not a ground issue, that's for sure. It did register a little more than it was when it was empty, so. Something here, can you guys see me? There we go. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing, so it looked like the camera was pointing a little downward. This is about total about 6 to 8 gallons. These weren't totally full. Be glad to get these cans out of the shop. Really, particularly like gas cans hanging out in the shop. Ooh. Oh, Jason Hart in his 67 Chevelle. Okay. Very nice. Alright, let's see if this gauge is working. Bingo. A little over a quarter tank. Fixed it. I know it was fixed. Yeah, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. Alright, that's empty, that's empty. So far no leaks. I'm going to check that plug on the bottom. Just go over everything one last time. And maybe we could take this for a spin. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to replace this fuel filter element. Well, actually it ain't replacing it. It's put one in because it doesn't have one. So being there's no fuel up to this, and there could be some dirt in the lines, we will change this now. Empty that out. Put that right there. There's the old seal. Put the new one in. Like so. Make sure you're in the direction. Don't think there was. Alright. I think think this is going to go bottom gets the steel as the glass pushes on the seal on the bottom, and the fabric goes up with the seal. I'm hoping the seal cooperates and doesn't leak. There we go. Seems to be okay. Find out. Sometimes this is actually good. A lot of the farmer stuff uses this. And sometimes you break one of these seals, or they rip, or whatever, or go bad. It's always good to have one. All right, coat that. We'll go with that. Let me see if it'll start up with what fuel's in the carburetor. What's the fuel? I know it's missing. The spring's missing out of it. Just under a half a temperature. Okay, what is that noise? Something's hitting the fan. Let's check that out. Alright, well, there's supposed to be a little spring at the bottom of this thing. If you didn't see it floating around, I'm going to have to find that spring. I think I might have one kicking around somewhere. So, I don't know what that's hitting. Buzzing on something. Okay. Let's take it for a spin. Do a walk around real quick, make sure nothing's in the way. Look for the puppies. I don't know where they're at. Oh, they're next door. Never mind. They're playing with their friend. Lift's kicked off. All right. It's a nice little quiet machine. I still got to fix the column. This doesn't want to stay in the detent. And now we have a fuel gauge. This thing is not. There it goes. Whoa. I forgot. Reverse is down here. I'm used to my turbo hydros having park, reverse, neutral, drive, 1, 2. Reverse on this is all the way back. Harder and harder to put it in gear. Just the vacuum advance is making a difference already. We'll get this carburetor straightened out, it'll be good. It'll be almost ready. Still hear that horn relay clicking off. Oh yeah, much better. Shift. There it goes. Got a wrong gear. Okay, accelerator pump straightened out, get the timing set perfect. Already the vacuum advance I put in the other day makes a big difference. Yeah, goes down real nice. We're doing like 45 now. It's nice and smooth, it's quiet. Go see if the owner's home. We're supposed to go camping, I think. Unless he already went to bed. I gotta fix this column. This thing has a lot more get up and go now. Doesn't fall on its face. Especially as it warms up. What a beautiful riding car, even on bias plies that are 40 years old, probably, maybe 50. EFG Silvertown. that. Beautiful. Solar pump said, nope, not having it. 2, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That's it on those silver towns. But we'd be going down with the silver town, blowing them out. Oh yeah, what a difference. Alright, so left we got to fix this horn, fix the column, fix the detent for the shifter, make it shift nice again. I got 2 new heater cables to operate the heaters, which are seized up. I got to put a wiper or a winch light switch in the thing, get the dashboard lights working. Wiper blades, even though the windshield's broke, that's going to be on him. Oh, I got to do the carburetor yet. I may mount some tires when he gets back from camping. So there's a few more things to go. We'll see what happens here. So we'll get this back, put it away, and get back on the Chevelle again. Should be getting parts anytime this week. It is, let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Should be Friday, Saturday. I should start seeing parts come in. If that firewall cover and the stuff for the inside comes in, I can put the dash, the pedals, the heater box back in, all that good stuff. So whole lots of stuff to do. All right, let me get this thing home. I will see you guys later. Okay, hey, welcome back. Yep, here we are, Chris's big block Chevelle. We know there's a camshaft lobe wiped out in this thing since I pulled it out, and he knew something was not right with it, so I pulled the intake and I saw that the intake gaskets were compromised. So I pulled the intake off. Of course, I cleaned it. It's just laying on here right now. And I happened to be looking down the middle of the valley where the camshaft is, and seeing that there was at least one wiped out camshaft lobe. So I talked to Chris, and he says, well, maybe we should get another motor or something. And I said, well, this thing's pretty clean. I think we should just pull the cam out of it and see how bad it is, and drop the pan and see how much trash is in the pan. Pull a main cap, rod cap, see what the bearings look like. Let's see how this thing's put together, what kind of condition it's in, and go from there. If it's in good condition and the metal didn't go through it. Cast is, you know, when a lifter is cast iron and a cam, well, mostly the cam went, the lifter was okay. Not okay, but compromised. Mostly the lobe took the hit. So, not that bad, but cast iron's a lot softer than steel. If this was a steel billet roller and the steel cam had wiped out, oh, this thing would be trash. You'd be putting new everything in. So, we're gonna pull, the intake's already undone. I'm gonna pull all the rockers off, all the push rods out, the balancer off, the timing cover. I'm gonna pull all the push rods out. I'm gonna wash them out when we're done, and I'm gonna yank the cam out and see how many lobes are wasted in this. Then I'm gonna pull the pan down and see what kind of forbidden glitter, hopefully none, cross my fingers, and see what if it's worth either fixing or replacing. I don't want to dump a ton of money into this, but if we can find a low mileage engine, we can swap some parts out, maybe a short block or something if the heads are decent. He did mention something to me about it smoking out one of the banks, that it might have a bad guide. So I can pull the heads apart, check all the guides, look at the seals. I could probably leak this thing down before I do it, but it's already got a wiped out cam in it. So I'm gonna start pulling this thing down and put everything in that bin down there and see what we can find. All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna start off by pulling the balancer. Harmonic balancer bolt. Yep. And yes, I have my safety sandals on today. All right, so that was 3/4. Now we got to put a puller on this, which I should have everything here. Let me see. Need a washer for this one. We got this balancer puller. It's 3/8 18 bolts, not 24s. We'll get these started in here and pull this balancer off. Hopefully we won't have no issues. Sometimes these can be a bear to get off. but we'll find out. Run this in. All right, come right off. There we go. I need to buy electric stuff. One of these days I'll be able to afford it. I'm an air guy, so well, it's stuck in there. It's awfully tight in these rocker arms. These are sticking in there. Doesn't matter the order they came out of. Oh, look at that, the whole stud came out. That's not good. That's not good at all. So that means one of these is galled up. Look at that. That means it's stuck on the stud, not good. Oh, we got another one. Stuck on the stud, not good. All right, so pull these rock arms. It doesn't matter the order they came off of. Another one, stud. Not stuck, not stuck. So we've got some stuff going on here that isn't good. Let me get around you here. One I already had off. That's the cylinder. This one here, 1, 2, 3, number 4. That's the bad lube. These did not pull the studs out, so these are Crane gold roller rockers. These are actually good quality rockers. I'll check the trunnions and all the bearings in them before we reuse them again. Push rods don't matter where they go. Looks like a decent push rod. There's no manufacturer on them. They look like they've been replaced. These are aftermarket with hardened ends. Oh, demo. There's longs and shorts, intake and exhaust. 2 different lengths. Easy to tell. Alright, so push rods are in. Next I'll just pull this intake off since it's already unbolted. I'm going to put this someplace where it's clean and safe. Right here is good for now. I'll have to put this in my front shop. Oh, there's my pliers I've been looking for. And there is the lifter that was bad. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's actually whooped. It came out of the bore, so it didn't tear it up too much. That's the push rod I was looking for. Let me see. Yeah, there was some intake gaskets under here that were compromised. We're gonna have to go through it. Since this is wiped out, I guess we can inspect all the lifters. I'm just gonna lay them over top the respective holes as I pull them out. Doesn't matter anyway. We're all trash, but I want to see if any were starting to go away. And so far, if they didn't rotate, then they ain't living. And that's what that one wasn't doing. Or the cam core was soft. So that's that bad one. And that one's not too. So far, so good. The cam itself looks a little sketchy from up here. Yeah, I'm just kind of yanking them out. All right. I gotta pull them out before I pull the cam out. That one's got some markings on it. It's not bad. It's not. Hasn't stopped rotating. That one's a little. I think you call it Brunelled. It's starting to get a change in color. That one's starting to get pitted. That one's out. It's the one that was wasted. The one next to the one that was wasted. That one's a little bit Brunelled. I think that's the word I'm looking for. That one's got a little bit of pitting to it. And number 2 seems to be okay. I gotta get this one out of here. Oh, there it goes. It really doesn't matter where they came from now because the cam is wasted. Yeah, oh, there we go. Number 8, exhaust. It's starting to go a bucketized or concave, I guess you want to call it. It's pitting and it's starting to go in. So looking at a couple of these lobes in here, it was either lack of oil changes, bad break-in, or poor quality oil. You know, it could be any of that. So at this point, I'm going to pull this, I guess I'll drop the pan. I don't know if we drop the oil in this. I'm going to put a pan under this thing and see if it's got forbidden glitter in it. All right, 9/16 wrench. I think this thing has oil in it. I'm pretty sure it does. See what surprises we get out of this. Oh, she's dark. Smells kind of diluted. I don't see any silver swirls in it yet. Usually that's real bad when there's silver swirls. Forbidden glitter they call it, and it looks like looks kind of funny, but this is doing all right so far. It's just dirty, very, very dirty. So let that drain for a minute. And what I want to do is drop the pan down. I don't want to turn the engine over on its top, because then anything that's in here, it'll end up in the bottom of the, up under rods and pistons and stuff, and every time you turn it over, it's just going to make a bigger mess. So it's easier to drop the pan down, keep everything contained in this. So yeah, that oil is pretty nasty. Yeah, I didn't rag on it, put my hands here. Let that drain for a few. Let me grab some sockets and stuff. All right, there's whoever worked on this thing, I wish I found out. Let me tell you, what a hack. They use these centered one piece. These aren't even oil pan bolts. These are like rear axle diff cover bolts. They don't even fit in there. Half of them are in there so tight. The threads are galled up. They're a little too long. They're supposed to have a lock washer on them, and they're supposed to be a little bit shorter, probably by a 1/4 inch. So I don't know who did this, but you need to hang up your tools, I think. So I think I got all the bolts out. There's a hodgepodge of different bolts in this thing, so this is going to be fun. Let's try not to make a mess. This thing is glued on there. Really glued on. You only need to put glue on maybe one side of the gasket in certain spots. All right. Yeah, she's glued on there good. Let's say it's a 2-bolt motor, I'm sure. So now we kept kind of everything in the pan, and you allow it to drain into a drain pan. And then you can dump this nice and easy. So let me put this off to the side. We'll take a peek to see what's in it. All right, first of all, I see your first mistake. This pickup. See how crooked it is? This thing's supposed to be parallel with the bottom of the pan. So obviously this has been touching the bottom of the pan. Unless it's loose, which it's not, and it's not a swinging pickup like some of them in the race cars. Nope, it is not. So this is not this is crooked. Unless they had, this is too short and they compensated by keeping it down farther. No, that's no bueno. That don't work. It is a 2-bolt block, because I'm gonna tell you a little trick. If you don't know if it's a 2 or 4-bolt block, how you tell is there's an oil pressure fitting right here. Okay, if it has, I think it's half inch or 3/8. If it's threaded for 3/8 or 1/2 inch pipe fitting, it is a 4-bolt main, because that's be where the oil coolers would hook up to these things. That's how you tell if it's a 4-bolt, just without pulling the pan. So I know this is a 2-bolt by that little. I think that's 1/4 inch. That's definitely not a big one. If I had one to show you, I would, but I don't. But all right, let's look in this pan here. Don't look too bad. It's a little dented up right here. The bottom of the pan's dented up. I'm not seeing chunks. It's a little gray underneath that mess, but I'm not finding flakes and specks, but yeah, don't look too bad. We'll have to wash this thing out and inspect it, but this definitely wasn't right. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so I removed the 12 timing cover bolts, and I will now remove the timing cover. Oh, dropped 2. Oh, they were leaning down the thing here. So 12 of those. Put them in the bin. One decided to go tie in somewhere. Yep. All right. And what we have here is basically a stock timing chain with some slop in it. No cam lock. Looks like it has lock washers. So this is basically a stock chain. At least it doesn't have a plastic gear. So this is definitely done. That'll give you inaccurate timing. So we'll take this gear off. Didn't even put Loctite on them even. I usually use a cam lock on these, or just a dab of blue Loctite on the threads of these 3 bolts. I think that was the tightest one out of all of them. All right, now it's on a dowel pin, so you're probably going to have to finagle it a little. It'll wiggle off. Sometimes these are tight. Just a matter of wiggling side to side. There we go. Okay. One timing chain. I'm going to just set this up in here. It's not going to hurt nothing. Now what I'm going to do, since there's no fuel pump rod, if you're going to pull these camshafts out, make sure your lifters are out. And if you have your fuel pump, you got to remove your fuel pump and the rod, or you'll never get this out unless it's retracted. But even then, back it off, take it out so you don't tear it up. I'm going to be real careful taking this cam out so I don't nick up the cam bearings in case we reuse this again if the cam bearings look good. So let me get myself some long 5/16 bolts, and I'll use that for a handle. So what I do is I get myself a couple of 5/16 coarse thread bolts. They make a handle for this. You can actually, I made one up. It's in my front shop, but you be real careful. Take your time and try to guide it out without banging up all the journals, or not so much the journals, the bearings. So once you bang those up, it's done. I'm very meticulous with that. You'll hit a couple, but you're not yanking the thing out 100 miles an hour. And once you see the cam distributor gear, you're out. Okay, we'll inspect this thing and see what's bad. All right, so I'm gonna go from back to front and show you all the lobes. That one there has got some pitting in it. That would be ready to check out too. That one's got pitting on it. That's ready to check out. He's got a little pitting. They're starting to wear. That one's got some pitting. The heel of that one. That's a little worn. That one definitely is checking out. You could see it's starting to taper and it's got a lot of wear on that corner. That's our bad one. It's divoted in the middle. Should look like that lobe right there. So that's the bad one, number 3. That one's a little pitted. That one's got a lot. It's got a lot of wear on this camshaft. So this could be a soft core. You know, it could be a lot of things. Break-in, wear, lack of oil changes. On the back of the camshafts, there's usually a manufacturer number, Crane Cams, whatever, a number. You look that number up, and this is a Crane Cam, haha. It is a 218-2 NC. It's got a date on it. If I look that number up in the book, and I have an old school, literally a book, that will probably tell you all the specs on this cam and how old it is. If not, if this is still in production, you'll be able to find it. But this thing is definitely a doorstop. All right, so it looks as the wear on this thing isn't that bad. It isn't chewed up. The bottom of the lifters are not mangled. Usually they're really sharp, and you have to push them down through the block past the crank to get them out. The one that was really bad on here, I actually pulled it out the top. So we caught this thing in time. There was no metal in the pan, very little, no little chunks, no forbidden glitter that I can see. It probably went out with the oil changes somewhere along the line when they change oil. But no, this was just going away. It's just neglect. And when these sit for a while, the engine's a car or whatever, and you fire them up and you don't prime the engine first, that'll tear them up. But most of them, I'm going to say it's lack of oil changes and maintenance. So this is definitely going to need a cam and lifters. Yeah, so Chris, if you're watching, here's a good boat anchor for your dinghies. Yep. All right, another thing to look for on your big block Chevys, just watch your cam bearing wear. If it's down to the copper, they look like they have some real weird wear in it. Those don't look too bad. I'll have to look. Usually you can look down the middle, and if you see copper or any kind of torn up stuff with grooves in it, yeah, it's time to change them. But so far what I see ain't too bad. Also, the face of this, where the cam gear rides right here, if this is all chewed up, then you have to put a Torrington bearing in here, because this doesn't have a bearing, it just rides on a coat of film of oil. So this one looks good, but they usually get torn up really fast. So this is a decent block. It's a passenger high performance block. I believe it was dated 1968, and it has a decent set of heads on it. This one says truck on it. Why? The other one say truck? Uh-oh. We have a passenger head and a truck head. Uh-oh. Casting numbers. Casting numbers are your friends. Last 4 digits. 3148. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have 2 different heads here, boys and girls. We also have a lot of excessive wear on top of those stems. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty bad. Yeah. These things have been beaten, these stems, to death. I'm gonna have to check the roller tips on those rocker arms, because they were probably hammering around. These are pretty bad. These can be refaced if the valves are good. Somebody put head studs in this thing, because this all has, usually they're bolts, this has got all head studs. But this one here says passenger, and the last 4 digits on the part number is looks like 1068. 1068. I think that's what it is. Or no, am I reading it upside down? 393 1063. And this one says truck, and it says 393 3146 or 3143. So we have 2 different heads here, which means maybe the chamber sizes are different. So this might have, I've seen this, people just replace a head after they overheat it, and one might make 9 to 1, the other might make 10 or 8 or whatever, throws the motor off balance. So this is a hodgepodge. Another key factor I noticed when I pulled this engine out, look at the color of the block, look at the color of the heads. See how the heads don't match the block? Somebody must have overheated this thing. That could be why the cam went too, and put another set of heads on it, or there was a good set of heads on this and somebody stole them off of here and put these on here. Because these heads, the good performance ones, can be 1,200 bucks used on Marketplace, and they are big money, and they're rectangular port. I'm sure some of you GM guys, big block guys, know what I'm saying. So here is the casting number, the casting date. There's passenger. That's the block casting 440. I forget where I saw the casting number. That's date. I know it was dated 68. So, and the heads were dated 68. So let me get some permission to pull these heads off. All right, so this thing has head studs, which I don't know why anybody would use head studs on a street car, especially an oval port 396, but I guess they got a good deal on them. Now they got head bolts that are, because these are a pain in the butt to try to get off now. And the washers don't want to come out, and you got to use a pick to get them out. So I think I got this one loose. We're going to make an attempt to pick this off. No. All right. I had it loose, but it said no. So I think I'm going to end up fighting this for a while. Depends on how they have this thing glued on here. Man, this thing's going to be rough to get off. Oh my God. Yeah, no. This is not going to go. Not easily. It's up about 1/8 of an inch. Please, whoever built this motor, please throw away all your tools and take up crocheting, because this is terrible. Totally wrong. Oh, head studs make go faster. Makes more horsepower. Yeah, that's not going to work. All right. So that cylinder head took 45 minutes to get off because of that rusted stud right there and maybe that one. Notch for big valves. Cast pistons. Stay over there, Maggie. Cast pistons, not even marked if they're oversized or not. Bore looks decent. This cylinder head came right off. Why did they put head studs on this? I have no clue. It doesn't make it any faster. It's not John Force's car. It's not a Pro Stock. It's none of the above. I could see putting ARP bolts in it. This just made things totally ridiculous. So anyway, I get the heads off. The first head I pull off, which was the car head, the passenger head, is a semi-closed 6869 smaller valve passenger car engine head, which is actually a decent head. All right, now that would be used with probably 3¼ horse 396s, like the one in my 68. Then you got this one, a truck head with a Magambo. Does anybody use that word anymore? Yeah, Magambo chamber. I mean, this thing's huge with small valves, probably the same as these, and that makes probably 8-to-1, I want to say, right there. That's probably 9.5-to-1 with that piston, let's say. That just a rough figure without going through all the math, but that's a big imbalance. Why would you put, I've seen this before, but this is ridiculous. I've never seen one this backwards, so yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Maggie? What you think, honey? Yeah, I know. People need to step away from the engines once in a while. And that pickup just cracks me up. So I'm gonna call it a day from here. And then, what are you doing? Yeah, I got children. Will you stop? Thank you. I'm gonna call it a day from here, I think. Clean up this dump. I've been in here busy all weekend, so until tomorrow, next time, whatever it is, got to consult with the man about what we're going to do with this. I want to pull a rod cap and a main cap or several and make sure all the bearings are good. If they're good, probably I'll inspect the bores. We may just put a cam in this thing. I have a set of matching heads we can put on this thing and bump the compression up a little. But with the cast piston, there ain't much you can do with it. With this goofy looking dome I've never seen. I think that might be just like a universal dome for an aftermarket. So all right, well, Maggie here, yeah, she says yeah, she wants to go in the house and sit in the air conditioning. So do I. Maggie actually lost 6 pounds. Yes, congratulations. You actually have a waist again instead of a roly-poly dog. All right, well, I'll see you guys on the next adventure with the Chevelle or whatever I'm working on in here. Peace out.